In 2040, the global economic crisis suddenly breaks out. The US dollar exchange rates of each country plummeted, announcing the collapse of the dollar system. Economists researched and find the core of this problem. It all starts with the relationship between the Corn Belt and an aquifer in the Midwest. For the previous 2 decades, farmers on the Corn Belt have been given incentives to aggressively deplete the Ogallala aquifer. However, despite much speculation, no one knew how much water was within the aquifer, with forecasts varying widely. At the core of this economic collapse is that this aggressive agricultural practice depletes the aquifer earlier than anyone anticipated. A chain of events was caused because of the cutoff of the world food supply. Facing the crisis, the food companies, from fast food companies to fertilizer manufacturers, decide to shrinkage the global production network. Bearing the brunt of the crisis, the meat production company like Cargill has to stop the meat supply for Australia, Brazil, and the food retail in United States. Walmart, the largest retail company, also close over 4,800 stores to reduce expenses. The chain restaurants including McDonald's have to close half of their restaurants globally, whose a number reaching 15,000. So far, aquifer depletion has escalated into a global crisis. After many economists, hydrologists, farmers, and the population all demanded to tie our currency with something natural, real, and meaningful, water starts to be traded as a commodity. While the concept of virtual water is introduced, which means all commodities could be expressed as water, people realized that the scarcity of water was at the core of the financial crisis. Therefore, in 2040, the world started adopting using water as the currency base of the global economy. The US, Canada, and Mexico are the initial members to build up the new water currency order. Organization of Water Associated Countries (OWAC) is established, announce water as the new currency. Its first mission is to set up price standards. As countries are sharing aquifers, water economic associations are established across country boundaries. The eastern US and Mexico share the Atlantic and Gulf Coastal Plains Aquifer. The AGCP Economic Association aka Water State 1 is established, and investigate and manage the water bank together. The same situation is also happening in South America, Africa, Asia, and Europe. New super-states appear, and the world is reconfigured. To fully investigate how much money is reserved, NOAA, NASA, USGS, EU, World Bank, Chase, and Amazon are involved in and cooperating. All members agree on OWAC has the authority to manage water resources. As it becomes more clear how much water is reserved, the price standard becomes stable. Earth's south polar land mass, Antarctica, is covered by the Antarctic ice sheet. It covers an area of about 14.6 million square kilometers and contains 3 sextillion watts. Around 70% of the fresh water on Earth is contained in this ice sheet. To better manage this largest water currency reserve, the Antarctic Central Bank is established. Finally, the structure that the central bank controls the sharing ice sheet, and each water resource association manage its branches is gradually formed. Centralized eco-economic management and protection policies are released. Chapter 1 Water Currency Reserve Monitoring System. Infrastructure conducted by WGMS is monitoring and managing the Antarctic Central Bank 24 hours a day to prevent currency melting. NASA is also monitoring the sea level rise as a complementary tool. Chapter 2 Eco-Economic Conservation Zone. Water bank conservation areas are established. New urban sprawl cannot cross the conservation line. A continuous 1-mile buffer zone around Great Lakes urges Chicago urban areas to set back. Chapter 3 Minting Rules. United banks have the authority to excavate water and minting. Mints locate at the start point of each watershed, or above aquifers. Water is divided into 4 grades: freshwater, clean water, gray water, black water. The value declines as the water becomes less fresh. Chapter 4 Preventing Value Decline. Industry sites are restricted from 1 mile from all water access. Industrial wastewater must be purified to Class II standard to prevent value loss. In 2050, 80% of the Victoria Lake surrounding areas are purchased for agricultural use by the food giants of the past decade. While in April, the accumulated agricultural runoff caused a severe nitrogen leak into Victoria Lake. Harmful algal bloom HAB50 is detected in the South Water State. 500 square kilometers of Lake Victoria was polluted. Amazon, NASA, EPA, Chase Noir, and USGS use remote sensing to monitor the spread of HAB50 with the Landsat 16 satellite. On April 22, 2050, a study from the University of Maryland is published, warning that HAB50 is hypothesized to be increasing globally. Researchers around the world start to share their studies and progress in HAB prevention and mitigation. A global donation website is founded. The World Bank, Rockefeller Foundation, and PCMHB from NOAA donate $2 billion to the affected watershed states. On May 12, 2050, HAB50 doubled in Water State 6 in 1 month, reaching 1,000 square kilometers. Cargill shut down more than 1.7 million hectares of agriculture farms in Kenya to prevent further topsoil runoff into the Victoria Lake. However, the HAB is reported to spread to other states and continents through airflow, rain, and ocean current. Overshadowing by a lack of fresh drinking water and terrible sanitation condition. OAK starting to extract water by melting glacier to support HAB-affected regions. To give confidence to the public and stabilize the world's total water storage, OAK is pushing the establishment of 500 new desalination plants to secure the water currency flow. However, the proposal has caused a heated debate. Consuming huge amount of money, the desalination plants are criticized as myopia, and more as a political gesture, which people can get limited fresh drinking water at the debts of even more virtual water consumption. On June 1, 2050, 1.5 months after the outbreak of HAB50, the widespread algal bloom is reported to spread at a shocking speed. 35% of the world's surface water has been contaminated by HAB50. As a longer-term strategy for this water pandemic, the Global Crop Rotation Plan is suggested and approved by OWAC. In Phase 1 of the project, Chase Noir began to provide analysis of rainfall and airborne moisture data from weekly base to daily support. This rainfall data is especially important for monitoring offshore precipitation events before they impact land. The false color sensing of global agricultural lands gives direction to the most efficient farming lands of the year as well as the degrading ones. OAC holds the meeting with its members in Rotterdam, reaching out and agreeing to establish 50 major preserves around the world, of which at least 40% of territories of each watershed state will be preserved as natural reserves for protection. Low nitrogen fertilizer (LNF) standard is signed by Agrium, Potash Corp., the Mosaic Company, and other fertilizer companies to reduce half amount of nitrogen in their fertilizer products. Microsoft and Facebook announced to invest 1 billion watts in nitrogen replacement ingredients. To establish the global monitoring and processing network, 20 more satellites are launched by Amazon, NASA and Chase NOAA to provide detailed monitoring of soil health, global drinking water, moisture corridor, and algae bloom at the scale of a centimeter. In August 2050, although the hot summer weather caused the exacerbation of HAB in some regions, while with the application of contour farming, 60% of the nitrogen leak has been cut off before it runs into water bodies. Landscape architects, ecologists, and engineers work collaboratively on reforming the agricultural terrains near the watershed, preventing topsoils and nitrogen leak into water bodies. Climate data, carbon footprint, soil health, freshwater trace as well as chemical leak data are collected, processed, and shared. With these pieces of information anticipate the best place to farm economical as well as ecologically. The world agriculture lands are planned coordinatedly, taking turns to fallow in a global scale. In 2150, a highly efficient network and trade market based on sensing and monitoring is established and functioned to steward the world's agriculture and water management. The HAB crisis finally leads to the fourth agricultural revolution and established a stronger relationship between economy and ecology.